All right, we are live. And we'll get it all hyped up. We got the Homerun Derby. We got Euros. We got the Game 2 of the NBA tonight. There's baseball. There's hockey's over. There's a lot of stuff. So, Dan, I just wanted to show a couple of things quickly.
Yep.
While I'm here, I just wanted to show the Bankroll Boys shirts, which I will figure it out one more time. Let me just go to it. But they are the hottest things going right now, Dan.
That's the rumor at the station right now.
Yep, I found out how to do everything again on this screen now, so that should be good for us. I'll find it. It's all on here. But yeah, so that's the big word on the streets is that we got our Bankroll Boys logos back up there. Trying to show everybody so they can see it. I'll find it in a second here. But how's it going today, Dan?
Listen, it's been an interesting day. It's been interesting. It's obvious I took a break for about a week or so. Went to the Cape, relaxed. Haven't been doing a whole hell of a lot in terms of actual betting, but back kind of excited to kind of get back into it, man. I mean, we're pretty much we're coming down the stretch here. Obviously, Tampa wins the Stanley Cup. We have the NBA Finals going on, and of course, we have the Homerun Derby. I mean, we're about to be in the middle of summer, Joe, which means that means it's football preview season, and college win totals are out, so that means maybe next week we're looking at some college win totals. So I'm pretty positive of what's going on right now.
All right, those are the Bankroll Boys. That's the logo. So if you want a sticker, you can get stickers. You can also get T-shirts as well. So there you go. Go buy our shit. So that's one thing that I wanted to just show here. So what's the wrangle with brothers tonight? Going to Vegas this weekend. Where am I betting or watching UFC? Any suggestions there?
All right, so betting or watching UFC, I'm not a big UFC guy. I think it's more of a Joe Murray question.
Yeah, but going out though is fun,
Oh, definitely.
Like, I think it's like if you're gonna go out, it's definitely somewhere to go. I don't know. I mean, so I know people love Caesars and they love Bellagio. That's too high stakes for me,
Yeah.
It's just too, like, I would actually look for somewhere that's doing a viewing party and see what's out there. Maybe there's a cover, but I'd go to a viewing party. I think that might be fun. But search it. Take the monorail anywhere you go. Don't really take a cab. Monorail's cool. You just, at the end of your casino ride, it just takes you all through the city there. But yeah, and I don't know. I guess we'll get into the fight in a little bit, but I will say this: the whole McGregor smack talk before fights, that's kind of lost its edge with me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's it's not real. I mean, he's pretty much admitted to me. He pretty much admitted that it's not real.
Yeah,
By the way, JP, if you're in Vegas, I didn't realize you're gonna be in Vegas. If you're in Vegas and you're going for the fight, you probably got to go to Circa, right? You got to go Circa poolside and watch the fight there. I mean, that's it. I know it's late, but it's gonna be 110 degrees in Vegas. Like I think that's the place you got to be. I would get on the list ASAP because that's gonna sell. Yeah, Saturday it's gonna be 117 fucking degrees. Holy shit! I would be in the pool, man. That's where my fat ass would be in the pool. Trying to at least cool down and make sure you don't drink too much. But yeah, that's where I go for Vegas. In terms of the wrangle, Joe, and I'll kind of give out some stats here. Thanks to NBA ref stats. Game 2 officials, home team win-loss, excluding the bubble in the finals. Zach Zarba in 8 games. Tonight will be the 8th game. Home teams are 2-5 straight up. Tony Brothers teams are 4-5 straight up. I would say they probably lean the roadside, and I think that they're probably going to want to extend this series. So if it's 2-0 Phoenix, you're probably going to get a Scott Foster game 3. I mean, that's my guess. I think Milwaukee, obviously, the role players will be much better at home, as expected. I really think that what's going to be super key for Milwaukee is, and I know this kind of sounds crazy, but I think it's going to be PJ Tucker, because I really think you're going to have to take a look. Oh, bless you. I think you have to take a look at PJ Tucker on maybe a Devin Booker. I know that that's going to be a really hard guy to defend, but I mean, I think if you're in Milwaukee, you have to make that change, and you have to put PJ Tucker on him. If he continues to expose you. Now, Chris Paul, I think it's going to, that's why you acquired J. Rue Holiday. That's the guy. That's the matchup you're looking for, and you're hoping that Holiday, bad game 1, you're hoping that he wins that matchup in game 2.
Yeah, so so a lot of guys that I respect, that I like to follow, are on the Bucks tonight. I don't know if you've seen this at all, but there's a lot of people on the Bucks.
There's a lot of people on the Bucks, which kind of, I mean, as I told you earlier, I think if I'm going to be betting on Milwaukee, I'm holding out till after this game. I'm looking for more of a series price, and I'm hoping that I get Milwaukee series price at a very good number, 2-0, going into game 3 at home. That's what I'm thinking. And Mike Budenholzer is not exactly the king of adjustments, and expecting Milwaukee to make some drastic changes from game 1 to game 2, probably not going to happen. But I do expect changes from game 2 to game 3, especially if they go down 0-2 in the series. And I think that's where you'd see the PJ Tucker potential matchup with Devin Booker, and maybe you try and trap Chris Paul in certain situations if J. Rue Holiday just isn't getting the job done, which would be a disaster for Milwaukee. Because I mean that the whole point of the value for J. Rue Holiday is that he's a 2-way guy. So that would be tough. But yeah, for tonight, I gotta say I'm leaning away from the game just in general. I don't have a lot of interest. The line's already moved towards the Bucks. Honestly, if I'm taking anything, I think I'm going Phoenix. Honestly, maybe minus the 4.5. I think that would be the way I would go. And I understand there's a lot of respected guys in Milwaukee tonight. I just think that maybe that's a chase.
Yeah, so I personally don't love a side here or a total. And I agree with you. This is probably a pass of a game. But I feel like because of the refs and the wrangle, the Bucks are should be the side. So I'm gonna ride the wrangle, Dan. Let's do a PP.
Okay.
We'll ride the wrangle. This is only a wrangle ride. So I don't know. Should we call it an RR? I don't know.
A wrangle ride, whatever you want, baby.
Yeah, because this isn't a. I'm gonna dabble on it. Okay, so let's say I do units 1 through 10. I'm gonna put 3 on the wrangle ride.
Okay.
So if it's a 10 units is the big play, give me a 3-unit wrangle ride.
Okay.
Plus 5.5.
There you go. So
is it 5 or 5.5?
It's 5. You can get 4.
All right, I got 5.
There's 4.5s and there's 5s out there. Right now.
All right, I'll go 5. Let me see what Mr. Local. I know DraftKings had 5.5 this morning. So I'll go off DraftKings since I know people are gonna run up there to put it in. NBA Finals, 4.5 on DraftKings. Ooh.
Yeah, there's mostly 4.5s. There are still a few 5s out there.
And then Mr. Pickles, he's got He's got 4.5 too. So all right, I guess I got to take it at 4.5.
You know what? So. Give me the over 220.5.
Ooh, yeah, that went up 1.5 from today.
Yeah, I do think that's the right side. It's not getting the best number, but I do think that this is going to be a high scoring series. And again, I think the adjustments are going to come in game 3, game 4, especially Milwaukee is down 0-2. So I don't think we're going to see the adjustments in this game. I don't think they should show their hand, at least in my opinion. And, this is an important game, but it's not a must win. If you're down 0-2 game 3, obviously must win. So I do think that's where you'd see major adjustments kind of be made.
Yeah, and I know some people like these player props and everything like that. Total points tonight. Remember how we talked about that Brook Lopez could be interesting based off the last series? He's 13.5. Chris Paul, 21.5. I don't know if there's any value in that one. And I know you generally like to take unders when it comes to player totals. Giannis's player total right now, 26.5.
Yeah, what I would say about Paul to start is that Paul is probably going to be inflated due to what he did last game. I'd probably go under on Paul, but it's not something that I love. I do think Middleton under assists might be an interesting look. You're seeing Giannis over points at 27.5 at plus money. Middleton under assists at 4.5 plus 120 as well. So I think those are the two potential ones I'd maybe look at. I do think Giannis is going to go over, and I think he's going to get healthier as the series goes, of course. And if Giannis is in, that usually means that we're looking at a guy like J-Rue Holiday, maybe not scoring as much. So give me J-Rue Holiday under 18.5 points plus 110. So there you go. So there's my prop for the game.
Yeah, I don't see much value. Nothing stands out with me for the value here. And when it comes to the series, 235 right now. So I have Bucks plus 110 to win it all. I got that back, I don't know, week ago, 2 weeks ago. So it's 235 right now. I kind of still think Phoenix wins for some reason, even though I have a bet on the Bucks. But I don't know. This might be the best it is all series. So I if you like the Bucks to win, plus 235 on $100, $235. So keep that in mind. I can put $50 and wash out my bet right now if. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't. I couldn't wash out my bet.
Yeah, it'd be a lose. It'd be a loser or push.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's your series bets. I got an email today, Dan, from Bet Online. They like to send me stuff to talk about, sports, odds and ends. And one that came over today was the Homerun Derby odds to win.
Okay.
And the favorite is Shohei Ohtani. He's 5-2 odds at the moment. Then it's Joey Gallo, Pete Alonso, Matt Olson, Trevor Story, Salvador Perez, Juan Soto, and Trey Mancini. So the obviously those know the game has been moved to Coors Field. I will tell you this: the last time there was a home run derby at Coors Field, a left-handed hitter in Ken Griffey Jr. won the event. So I'll ask you: does that favor a left-handed hitter in this matchup?
Yeah, I think it does. I think lefties are probably going to have an easier time hitting the ball out. It's just a kind of a slight Coors advantage. I mean, it's obviously not Yankee Stadium where lefties are going to have a gargantuan advantage. But I do think that helps. And obviously, Ohtani's plus 250 for a reason. Guys like Pete Alonso and Gallo are going to be, priced lower because of their, power. But I don't know if Alonso, and I know he was fantastic, a year or so ago. When did Alonso win the home run derby?
The 2 years ago?
I believe that it was last year. I believe he won last year. I believe that it was it Vlad Guerrero who won last year? I'm trying to remember.
Was there a home run derby in the shortened season last year?
Alonso won the 2019 derby. You are correct.
There you go. All right. There you go.
Yeah, there was no derby last year. So the last derby Alonso won was 2019. No derby last year. That's why I was confused. Okay. I think Alonso is priced fairly at plus 500. I still think that price is probably too short. I don't think there's much value there. I'd stay. I mean, Trevor Story might be an interesting take just because of obviously the home field advantage. I think he'll have a little bit more comfortability in that stadium. But the one that I'm looking at is Juan Soto, 8.5 to 1 or 9 to 1. I think that's mispriced. And I know that Soto obviously hasn't had the power stroke this year, but we all know what Juan Soto can do and has done the past few years in the league. And the fact is that, this is a guy who has tremendous power. And, despite them, hitting a ridiculous amount of home runs this year, I think that's the best value on the board, in my opinion. I do think that Matt Olson plus 600, if you can get a better price than Matt Olson, I'm probably going to wait and see what happens. If I can get a 758 on, a 7.5 or 8 to 1 on Olson, I might dabble a little bit on Olson as well. I just think that Olson is also a guy who's being undervalued here. One thing I certainly will not do, I'm not going to play the favorite in Ohtani. The big favorites usually struggle. It's been a thing in the past couple of years, and I guess excluding last year for whatever. I don't know why I thought there was one last year. But that is not going to be something that I'm going to play.
Well, it's just that last year's baseball season just kind of never happened,
Yep.
Based off everything that happened. So yeah, I'm looking at the. So there's no official odds yet on DraftKings for those that are looking to get in there. Yeah, I don't. So Homerun Derby. Here we go. So Mancini at plus 850, huh?
Short.
Yeah.
It's short, and listen, he's a fun story, and I'm sure that he might win around. He's just not a guy that I'm going to be, taking a price on.
The thing about Ohtani for me is I don't know. Usually players that do this event tend to taper off a little bit later in their regular seasons, and he's a great story, and he. You know what? I give him credit for being in the damn thing. I give Pete Alonso credit for being in the thing. But this event generally ruins swings and wears people out and gets tired. And yeah, maybe the Angels are 9.5 games out anyways, right? So whatever. But he's the story. It's just that the way this whole home run derby thing goes, it's kind of do you really have a real champ? Yeah, that's why it's a betting strategy, I guess I'll take a flyer. I'll take a flyer on Joey Gallo.
I just think at 5 to 1, you're probably taking a lesser price on a guy who, obviously has tremendous power, but hasn't been significantly or hasn't been fantastic in the Derby. And I think 5 to 1 is probably a undervalued price compared to some of these guys. I'd probably take Alonso 5 to 1 over Gallo. I'd take Olson 6 to 1 over Gallo. I'd definitely take Soto 8.5 1. I'd even look at Story. I just think Gallo is going to be one of those guys that's going to be heavily bet besides Ohtani because all he does is hit dogs, and I think it's too short of a price for him in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and I get your point. It's just if I'm just picking a winner, I think Gallo, left-hander, played in the National League. I think that might be a good spot for him. So when is that? Monday night?
That's Monday night. Yep.
All right, we can talk more about that one on Saturday. And I'm not sure if you've looked at tonight's games. I know some teams are off. The Yankees play tonight.
Yep.
just trying to see who else is here.
Well, the Yankees already played.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
they already played the Mariners. They got.
You know what? You know what's something I look at too, Dan? Just to throw it out. Sorry about that. The Indians got no hit yesterday. I kind of want to back them today. That game's at 7:40. Yep. So there's Plesac's on the mound versus Duffy. Duffy got roughed up versus the Red Sox.
Yeah, Duffy has not been great since coming back from his DL stint. He's a legitimate trade target right now too. So it's one of those guys where if he wants to get out of Kansas City, he is going to be trying to pitch his way out. At the same time, that's a guy who's been there for quite a while, Joe. I mean, Duffy's been in Kansas City for a while. He did have a decent outing last time out versus Minnesota, 4 innings, 2 earned. It wasn't great. Only had 2 strikeouts, and really his past couple outings have been sloppy at best. Obviously, he worked out of the pen for the Texas and Yankees game. He pitched 2 innings or 1 inning, but I'm looking at Duffy right now, and I just think that's a guy that despite his early season success, I'm probably looking to fade. And I don't think that fading him tonight would be a terrible idea. I mean, I didn't think he fared too well versus Minnesota last time out. Even though this team got the win, he did not get the win because he did not go 5. But I still don't think that he was very good in that one. He was even worse versus the Red Sox. Just, the past couple outings. We'll see. He may be a guy that's on the downturn this season.
Okay, and then I just want to bring up another game tonight. Darvish as a dog. No, that's the 1.5 line. Sorry. Yeah. So Darvish, Scherzer's the dog at plus 130.
Yeah, I mean that's a surprisingly big line for San Diego, despite being at home. Obviously, when Scherzer's on the mound, that's a surprise. Even when facing a guy like Darvish, who's had a fantastic season, I just think that's a game I'm probably avoiding altogether. I would maybe look under 7.5 there, but those are gobbled up pretty quick. I got to be honest with you, I don't love the evening baseball card tonight. Looking at, the Nationals play. I mean, really, there's only 5 games tonight. I mean, Phillies, Cubs. I think that is going to be an absolute crapshoot between Eflin and Alzolay. I actually like the under in that game. If you can find a good number on the under 7.5 there, I don't think that's terrible. Male Hauser, I think that's an over on the Reds, but I have no interest playing a side in that one. Same with the Cubs game. I have no interest playing a side in that one. The Tigers Twins Skewball Hap. So Skewball's K-prop today was pretty short for facing the Twins, 5.5 juice to the over. I'm very surprised that it was that short. You would expect a guy like Skewball to have at least a 6.5 pop versus the Twins. So that was a bit surprising. I would not be. I mean, and the price kind of tells you where I think is going to happen versus it was Minnesota. I would lean Minnesota. Money line tonight, minus 140. I do think that's probably the right side, despite how good Skewball has been, especially in the past few starts.
Awesome. Anything else you see on the old slate for tonight?
So I mean, there's not a hell of a lot. Obviously, just the few baseball games. Obviously, we just kind of talked about some serious prices and everything. There's not a lot of props I'm out there and loving. Either. I think, this Saturday coming up, obviously we'll have the Euro, which we can kind of look at, quickly now. Italy plus 200, England plus 175, draw plus 190. This is going to be a really interesting game, Joe. The over-under right now is at 2. I told you I like the 2 earlier today on Toucher and Rich, if you listened. I'm not really sure what to do on this yet. Right now, to lift the trophy, England is minus 118, Italy is minus 112. So that's just to win, including extra time. England's minus 118, Italy's minus 112. I'm probably Probably going to give out a play on that on Saturday, but I don't feel comfortable with anything just yet. I mean, I unfortunately, there's really not a lot going on in sports right now. We're kind of at that boring kind of time right now, but it is what it is, and we'll deal. I will say the fact that we're kind of in this boring time area, I do think that what's going to happen is we're going to get some big football previews coming up in the next few weeks, Joe, including college football, where we have win totals, and now we can start doing them by conference because we're going to expect all these kids to play and all these teams to play year after year. So
nice, man. Well, but real quick with the Euro though, I'm looking ahead a little bit, and we'll give out plays on Saturday, but my early lean is Italy at minus 105. I think it's their year, man. I backed England in that big game, and I'm not doing that again. I'm just not. I learned. So I like Italy to win the cup when it comes to the actual game. I'm forecasting it right now as a draw, and I guess we'll see, right? But, yeah. Well, I think Italy's been the best team in the tournament. And, if you can get them at plus money, that'd be great. But, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna get that way. But, yeah, we'll have more on it this week and on Saturday. But my early lean, and again, England, dude, were they the heavy? They were the favorites, right, with France, I believe?
France and Belgium. And
Belgium,
were the big favorites, yes.
So, I just think Italy's been the best team in the tournament. But we'll see. We'll see. And I know you mentioned the college football totals. I actually, we're 123 days away, Dan, from the beginning of college football season. But who's counting, right?
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I by the way, Joe, I also agree with you. I do lean Italy. That would be the side that I would lean as well.
Now, what I want to do is look into a little bit more of like what have the friendlies been like, how the matchups been with these two teams. There's just a little more things that I have to look into. For example, that England Scotland game that I went heavy on. I looked at it, and Scotland played them tough every single time. And you even mentioned a look-ahead game. It totally was, And I know there's no spot here for that, but I got to see what England has done against Italy. Because if England's won the majority of those matches, and I got to look. I got to see. I got to do more research on that one. So, again, just I like to eyeball stuff before you look into it. With my long view, I think the Azzurri is the right side, but we will see on that one. The other email I got today, and tell me if I'm cutting anything short here, but this came from Bet Online as well. They have stupid odds, and I don't know if you want to do any of this, but the Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor press conference props. You can bet on this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they take action on this stuff.
So, like, is he going to wear a suit? I would probably bet that if you really want to. Will he wear glasses? I think so. The first curse word we hear will probably be an F-bomb, right?
No.
I mean, no? Okay. Well, will Conor McGregor be chewing gum? Will they shake hands? Will either predict a knockout? Like, these are real odds that you could bet. Oh, will someone at the press conference get arrested? That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just thought those were there on that one. Dude, DraftKings has completely blown this thing up. Dan, I had to do reads this week that were like 75 seconds long. And it broke down like how to MMA bet daily fantasy, and you get points for takedowns and holds, and I'm not into that, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like to watch the fight and hope and root for a winner. That's it. But there is some shit that you can do here, man, and it's a little over the top for me. But I think some people love the real people who think they know it, and the grappling, and all the moves, like, that's just not for me. But, dude, if you really love the sport, DraftKings is the place to go, and I'm not just pumping them. You literally get points and money for takedowns and all that stuff, and you can bet it all. It's all on the site, so I don't think me and Dan really have anything when it comes to those props, right?
No, I mean, I'll look into that stuff for Saturday. But yeah, no, that is not anything that I mean, listen, it's just not my specialty. It's not what I do. It's not what I look into. It's not my stuff. I'm going to get back to WNBA this week. Of course, I had taken a couple weeks off as well. There's games restarting tomorrow, so I'll have games tomorrow as well, which is good. Again, I needed a break and I needed a nice reset. But yeah, tomorrow got a bunch of WNBA games. Obviously we kind of just talked about the NBA. While we talked about baseball. By the way, let me give one more additional baseball play. Give me Royals Indians over 9 minus 115. Again, the more that we talk about it, the more I think Duffy is going to get lit up. I don't love Police Act tonight either, so I'm going to go over 9 on that.
Yeah. But hey, Dan, I just want to mention on Saturday, I'm gonna email these to you so you can see them.
Okay.
But there might be some odds on this fight, man. For example, will the fight end inside the distance, and they have certain fighters that will go, like, there's some good odds for Poirier on that one. Will somebody win by majority? Is it unanimous decision? There's all that. Does the fight go the distance? All that stuff's there. Who will get the first takedown? Whatever. But I'm gonna email this to you because there's some interest. There's some big odds, dude. There's like 5-1, 8-1, and those are juicy to me. If there's any advantages in those, I want to look at it. And I know this weekend, like I said, we're gonna have the NBA Finals on Saturday. We got Euro Watch. The Derby's gonna be Monday. There'll be basketball games. I'm just trying to think of what else. So this is the biggest event of the weekend right now. So I just sent that to you, but we'll look at that. We'll break that down and show some love for that. So
sounds good. Next week, what do you think next week about starting on college win totals?
Yeah, and even if you want, maybe we can start. If you want to do a guest for like 10 minutes or something too, we can.
Ooh, I like that.
I thought we've been trying to get Sam Pejanovic on for a while, so maybe we can set something up with him, or maybe one of the DraftKings guys, or whatever. If we need time to fill, but we could literally just do the ACC one day, Dan, and then just do like the 1 hour ACC, the next hour Big Ten.
That's what I'm thinking is if we kind of go over each conference, maybe do this podcast, the ACC, this podcast, the Big Ten, and just kind of go over the win totals and for each. I mean, listen, college football is coming soon. It's already July 8th, so it's coming fast and furious, dude.
Well, I thought earlier, a couple of weeks back, or maybe a month or two ago, someone called in and was like, "Hey, who do you like for a Heisman?" And there was some good discussion there. So, I wonder if someone's dude. Like, I saw this joke today online. You know how NCAA football's coming out with a new game now with the whole O'Bannon rule and everything now. Yep. They had Mackenzie Milton on the front cover, and I thought that was interesting, right? Because
your guy,
this dude was considered to be a possible top pick, not first pick, but you know what I mean, top quarterback. I mean, where's he going? Florida State.
Yep.
I mean, dude, that's a legitimate. Listen, I don't know what the program's gonna do, but that's a legitimate addition to a team. Yep, Florida State. Derek, just think of Florida for a second, Dan.
It's really hard.
Just think of that whole area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but think about the whole Florida area, right? Mackenzie Milton's at Florida State. What's his name's back at UCF, Gabriel. Emory Jones is taking over at Florida. He's going to be interesting. He's more of a runner, but he's a 5-star recruit. What other schools are in Florida? I'm trying to think right now.
Miami.
And De'Ara King's at Miami, who's going to be healthy.
Yep.
So, I mean, the state of Florida's got some quarterbacks. I don't know if they're all going to get drafted or whatever, but Florida should be, I don't know who FIU's quarterback is, but they had a good one a couple of years ago. So, I mean, the more I look at it, like, the state of Florida itself, Emory, Jones, Milton, I mean, Gabriel's probably the best of the bunch right now, but it's interesting just when you look at, and that's just looking at, one state. UNC is going to be, big this year. Oklahoma's projected to be, Spencer Rattler and all these guys. So I'm excited for college football.
Minus 150 to win the Big 12.
Yep, I'm excited. And the one little talking point that's not football, dude, the amount of people that came back in college basketball this week, I love the fact they let these kids try out. Not so much work with an agent, but try to get a projection from scouts of where they'd be, selected. Like Johnny Juzang, right? He tried out. He did workouts. Scouts liked him. He made the right decision to come back, I think. I really do. Yep. And he's going to come back to UCLA. The big center from Michigan, right? He's coming back for another year. So, I mean, it's just that whole portal thing that's going on in college football and basketball, we gotta find out where dudes moved. You know what I mean? That's why it's good to do these previews. So that's good. Anything else on the docket, Dan? I know there's NBA tonight. Some people said that they may have missed the pick. The wrangle, for those who don't know, is a ref angle. And it goes by who the refs are and who they favor. And it looks like tonight the two refs do not favor the home team. To give you an idea of maybe where we were on that one for those who missed it.
I mean, we can just say it because we're still live. I mean, Joe's on the Bucks tonight, and I'm on the over.
And my bet is on the wrangle, and Dan's wrangle. Dan's pick. It was 219 this morning at 7:00.
Yeah, my 220.5 or whatever it is. So,
but
you
know what else I forgot? What's the NBA draft?
I think the NBA draft is a couple weeks from now, Thursday.
I'll get you the date.
Thursday, July 29th.
Okay, so that's a week and a half away.
No, it's the 8th. It's about 3 weeks away from today.
3 weeks away. I got a sneaky pick that I saw a prop today on James Bouknight. He's listed at 10.5, Dan. If you were gonna bet if Bouknight's drafted in the top 10, would you take that?
I think he's going under. I think Bouknight will be 7, 8, 9 range. I think that by in a couple weeks, Bouknight will probably his over under will probably be closer to 15.5. Or sorry, 5.5 is what I mean.
Okay, it's 10.5 right now, and it's minus 140.
Yeah, I'd go under on the Bouknight on that.
And again, I know it's a juice bet, but I think that's a winner.
I do too. And again, the best way to kind of do these is, get them in early. I mean, we talked about Najee Harris being the first running back in the NFL draft. He was like plus 220. And then, he was only a couple picks ahead of ETN, but still he was, by the time the draft rolled around, he was the consensus, number one running back in that class. So, you want to get on these early. If they start, there's a lot of numbers that start popping up. Maybe we do that next week too. So I'm thinking next week we start college football win totals and college football conference discussions. I mean, really, that's where we should be. And then we'll start looking ahead. We'll probably do one a week, and we'll probably bang out the major conferences, 6-7 major conferences, plus maybe an hour or two on the show here or there, and there you go.
Yep. So the 28th is the draft. So we got 1, 2, 20. Okay, so 3 weeks from tonight.
Yep.
I think I might put that Bouknight bet in right now.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't think that's a bad one whatsoever.
10.5, under 10.5, minus 140. Putting a unit on it.
There you go.
So I'm risking 140. I'm risking 140 to win $100. I don't always recommend it, but I think this is a winner.
I do too. I think that's a good bet. I think that by the time the draft rolls around, Pook Knight's total is going to be 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, that range.
All right. Well, we'll get that to look forward to now as well. So, anything else on the docket, Dan?
No, I mean it's a slow night. There's not a ton going on. I think we've gotten as much as we probably can tonight, and I think really the big stuff's going to come in the next couple of days, where maybe we start looking at the Olympic basketball odds and kind of stuff like that.
So you, just to give you a tease on that, USA is a big favorite.
I'm shocked.
Serbia and Spain right after that. Serbia, interesting, plus 800. And I just wanted to throw this. The Lightning won the Stanley Cup, and the odds are out for the to win next year's Stanley Cup. Do you know who the three favorites are, Dan?
I have not seen yet, no.
Colorado's the favorite, plus 500. Vegas Golden Knights, plus 600, fade.
And then Tampa?
Tampa. And guess these three: Carolina, Toronto, and the Boston Bruins.
Toronto, I would never make a bet on.
I did 2 years ago.
I'm also not taking Tampa to go back to back to back. I think that's
borderline. And Carolina, really? Yeah, where's the Islanders on here?
Yeah, I mean, That's one of those teams that's going to have a lot of free agents this summer, so I think that's a team you probably want to avoid. I understand the reasoning for that. I do.
Yeah. All right, dude. That's it.
All right.
40-minute podcast, 42 minutes.
Yeah, nice and quick.
We'll shut it down. I'll drop it down, download it, send it to you. I'll post it to the masses. And we'll talk to everybody on Saturday. We'll have a full breakdown on everything as well. So for Dan Lifshatz, I'm Joe Murray. This has been another edition of the DraftKings OverUnder Podcast.
Who you got?